So I recently came across a movement, right, or and community, I suppose, that I had absolutely no idea existed. Okay, this is for those who are familiar with it. I mean, you may probably look at me and ask, like, or wonder, like, have I been living under a rock or something? But I didn't know about it, so I felt the need to just make this video with the hopes that it will get across to more people that, some people that may watch it and also gain some new knowledge, right? And I'm talking about FIRE, okay? FIRE, right? Which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And based on my limited knowledge of it, right, this is just basically a group of people who are essentially looking to gain financial independence at a much earlier stage of life than is typical, right? Like retirement age, at least here in the United States, is somewhere around 65, right? So the whole goal, by the time you get to 65 is typically to have like enough in investments that you can live off of in retirement for the rest of your life. So this movement, financial independence, retire early. These are basically, it's basically a community of people who are, and I like the mentality, right? I like the thinking. It's basically a group of people um, who have, I don't want to say I guess you can say they've like rejected the idea of waiting to retire at the age of 65, right? Like basically retiring as, I don't know if it's as early as possible, right? And being able to live off of your investments, for the rest of your life from an early age. Now, why did you're wondering, like, how did I come about finding out about him? Well, and when did I find out about him? So this is basically, I found out about him earlier on in like basically the second half of 2024, sometime around, I'd say July. Basically when I started this YouTube channel, right? I created this YouTube channel, I believe, on the 1st of May. I want to say 1st of May of 2023, but I didn't start posting on it until the 16th of July of 2024, right? So created 1st of May 2023, but I didn't start posting until July 6th of 2024, okay? And what is this channel about? For those of you who are new here and have no idea, basically what I talk about, and by the way, my name's Christian. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. I am Christian M, and it's basically a place where I decided to document my attempted journey to financial independence, right? I don't have a traditional job right now, but essentially when I started doing that, obviously I needed to do a little bit of research, and in doing that research for the type of stuff that I wanted to talk about on my channel, that's how I bumped into these people, or this group, or this community of people. Pleasant community, by the way. And I'm just curious to know, like, what your thoughts are on them, on the, the whole concept as a whole, right? Is it something that you like or dislike, or think is good or bad, or delusional or real? I mean, whatever. Like, how do you feel about it? I'd like to know in the comments. Okay, I'd love to know in the comments. And, I should point out, financial independence could mean so many different things for different people, but for the purposes of what I'm trying to achieve through what I document on this channel and what I understand of the FIRE movement, financial independence, we're just basically looking to get to that point where we have, we're generating enough in passive income to cover our living expenses, okay? And when dealing with this FIRE movement, or at least in my case, what we're ultimately looking to do is have enough because that passive income is going to come primarily from our investments, right? Your investments, whether it's your stock portfolio or real estate, whatever the case may be, right? But generally speaking, it's going to be from investments, right? The investments in financial assets, right? So that's how I came across like the fire movement, basically, essentially. Okay. I've started, and because I've come across it now, I'm seeing more things about it. Like, I'm seeing the reason I asked you to let me know how you feel about it is because I've seen like certain videos where people are talking about why, like, it doesn't work, or it's not a real thing, or it's unattainable, or I don't know. But, um, essentially I was going after it necessarily knowing that I was. But here's the thing though, I, with regards to, let's just say, how I feel about it. Even if, right, this is just me personally, personal preference as an individual. This does not have to apply to everybody's different. Everybody thinks differently, right? But for me, I feel like even if I did become, financially independent, like say, like, at an early, what would be considered an early age, right? Like anything long before the age of 65 when we retire here. I feel like even if I did become financially independent, I would not, I don't know that I would want to stop working. I really just don't, I just don't know that I'd want to stop working, right? Um, I battle with the idea of thinking that, of getting to a stage where, like, basically spend the rest of my days not, maybe if I'm way, much older, right? Much older, maybe I might not want to work or so. I don't know. But I just feel like, being being in my 40s or being in my 50s or being, even in my 60s, like, I just don't know that I would be, even though, like, I guess I'm retired, but I just don't know that I could sit still and not want to work, right? I think I would still want to do some kind of something, right? That is helping me generate even more money than the money that I'm already making. Like, I don't know that I'm going to be one that's just going to be satisfied with whatever amount of money that I have compiled in investments or that I could live off of, right? I don't know. And I could be wrong. Once I get there, it may turn out to be completely different. And I'm just saying this because I've not achieved financial independence. So I don't really, I don't really know what it's like. We always talk, as people, right? We always talk about like, oh, if I was this person or if I was in that scenario, I would never do this, or I would definitely do that. The reality is you don't really know how you would behave in a certain scenario until you've actually been in it. Okay. You may think you may behave a certain way, but until you actually experience it in real time, I don't think you'll really know. I don't think you'll really know until that. You could have an idea, and maybe because of the idea of how you would behave is what you have in your mind, you might be inclined to follow through with that idea. But until you actually have it happen to you in real time and you actually experience it, I don't think you really know how you would behave until that time actually comes. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, let me know what you think of or what you know about what you think of like the whole fire movement. Is it something that you're actively going after, or it's something that you feel like is a pipe dream? I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of the fire movement as a whole? I'll really like to know. It's it's a very interesting community to me. It's just so interesting that there are all these things that are happening, that are all these like communities of people who are interested in a particular thing that that you may have absolutely no clue about, right? Like, and I'm always interested in seeing what makes other people tick, or other things that, that things that people find so interesting that I otherwise could care less about, right? I'm always like open to wanting to learn about other people and new ideas and new experiences and new type things. I might not necessarily want to do it, but it's just always interesting to me to know what others, what makes other people tick. Let me just put it that way. So, but anyway, I guess I've rambled enough. Now, if you're probably, I did mention earlier that that I necessarily work a traditional job. I think I did mention that earlier. So you might be wondering, okay, so what on earth do I do if I'm looking to become financially independent? Well, the biggest thing that I'm working on now that would help me, that I'm using as a vehicle to help me get to FIRE, I suppose, or basically become financially independent, is basically, and I'm going through the route of online business, right? And specifically doing, affiliate marketing or promoting products, online via digital marketing, and especially now digital products, right? Just because, the margins are it's a lot easier to manage, right? As opposed to, like, say, physical products per se, right? The margins with physical products are a lot smaller, right? But with digital products, it's not, especially if it's something that you're creating. Usually it's something you just create one time, and you have it there available to sell multiple times over and over and over and over. But anyway, if that's something you would like to get started with, if you're interested in learning more about selling digital products, I have a link. Check out the first link in the description below this video. It will give you access to some training that will show you how to get started from scratch. All right. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Ciao.